So I heard about DeepSeek. I heard about it today, and I was like, oh, this sounds very interesting. Because according to all the information that's out there, DeepSeek is supposed to be better than ChatGPT. So that really wouldn't resonate with me, except for the fact that the capabilities that DeepSeek is supposed to give you is equal to the same capabilities that ChatGPT charges $200 a month for. So DeepSeek is supposed to be free, and I just logged in to DeepSeek. So they said, hey, you can go to DeepSeek at chat.deepseek.com. Chat.deepseek.com. I said, okay, let me try it out. Let me see. And apparently DeepSeek is supposed to give you the same level of ChatGPT that you would pay $200 a month for. Right? So, first question I'm going to ask, because I like asking the large language models a question about themselves. It's just a thing I do. But give me a breakdown of DeepSeek and why it is better than OpenAI or Gemini or Claude. And it may not be able to answer that question, but I just want to see what it says. So DeepSeek is an advanced artificial intelligence model developed by the Chinese company DeepSeek Artificial Intelligence Co. Limited. It is designed to perform, so it just does what AIs do. All right, so multi-language, right? If I recall correctly, ChatGPT only does English. But so this is going to be pretty interesting if that's correct. Let's see. But according to all the videos that are out there, the main deal with DeepSeek is that it engages in chain of thought reasoning, right? And chain of thought reasoning is the level of AI that you get with ChatGPT for $200 a month. The majority of us, myself included, are not about to spend $200 a month for some chain of thought reasoning. That's outside our budget, right? So the fact that you can get this for free, and also as a bonus, according to these videos that are out there, you can actually download this DeepSeek, and as a software developer like yours truly, you can actually start using this advanced AI model in your own software applications. Man, that's an awesome prospect. So anyway, you can customize it, right? And let's see. And so you don't have the same economic model in China that you do in the United States. So they can throw as many servers at this, as much cloud computing capacity at this as they want, right? It's not as big of a deal for them. It's not going to be a make or break profit kind of thing with them doing this as it would be in the United States, right? And I'm just being unbiased here. I'm being objective. Let's just understand what the situation is, right? I'm not saying that this side or that side is better. Let's understand the situation here. You have a country that can have a near unlimited capacity compared to those countries that have to build that capacity on the basis of profit, right? So there's a huge possibility here that there are more computers and more NVidia Blackwell chips involved. Well, okay, so there's a ban on NVIDIA Blackwell chips, but the equivalent of that, right? And so then you got ethical. Okay, so it has some ethical guidelines. Of course, these guidelines are going to be a little bit different as far as how ethics is understood. Okay, so comparison. Let's see, more versatile without needing task-specific training. Let's see, and OpenAI does have a large community. They have what's called the first mover advantage in AI, so that is important. But the weakness is cost. Everyone knows that every ChatGPT query is anywhere from $20 to $80 a query, right? And last year, the estimates were ChatGPT was running a deficit of about $5 billion in operating the AI infrastructure. But that can be dealt with over time, as OpenAI becomes profitable. Right now, they're living off of investor money, right? Which is understandable. There have been concerns about ethical implications of OpenAI's models, including issues related to bias and misuse. Let's see, cost effectiveness. So basically it's free, right? So it's open source. This is the realization of open source, right? Like we're talking about with Linux, right? Linux is open source. This is open source. This is how innovation moves forward. And OpenAI in the name is open, right? OpenAI is actually based on open source. They're just trying to, find that balance between being open source and also having a product that you provide for a fee, right? Which is totally legitimate in my view. In my view, that's totally legitimate. You can have open source technology, and at the same time, the value that you provide is on the basis of the service to access that in terms of the implementation, right? The blueprints can be there all day long. The implementation and servicing it and making it available in its implemented form is where the actual economic value is, in terms of how OpenAI has chosen to pursue the distribution of AI, right? But here we got multilingual support, we got localization. That is very powerful. That means that you could essentially, here's a product idea for some folks, right? You could bring this engine into your software application, and instead of spending months with translators to translate your user interface, right? Because I just did a video telling people about GUIs, right? I do a lot of work with graphical user interfaces. And so this would be a way to speed up having a user interface that adapts to different languages, right? I mean, I am a product developer, inventor class software developer, so, I think about all these things. But anyway, so that's where, you got that kind of thing going on there, right? Gemini, by way of Google, and you'd have to go back to my 2023 video about Google versus OpenAI, where I made a prediction that long term, Google's actually going to be the winner in AI in the United States, right? Because Google is already situated from a cloud infrastructure standpoint and an overall infrastructure standpoint. So, and also Google has the resources that they already put to practice to build their own hardware. So they have less limitations compared to Anthropic and OpenAI. So Google is going to be the strongest competitor to DeepSeek, right? Weaknesses, of course, privacy, but that's going to be a concern across the board, even with DeepSeek, right? So you have to use the AI very carefully, depending on what information you don't want known to those that operate DeepSeek and who their partners are. But you can actually work through that very carefully if you know how to put together the proper partitions within software applications and software infrastructure. But and then dependency on the Google ecosystem, you're going to have a dependency. It's a question of what that dependency is, and you're going to be better off with a open source, you're going to be better off with an open source dependency rather than a proprietary dependency, because you have more flexibility, control, and the ability to evolve your technical implementation and the service that you provide. All right, so DeepSeek's advantage, it's independent from the standpoint of those that are looking at Anthropic, Google, and OpenAI. There is more independence in what DeepSeek is providing or putting out there, right? Because it's much more democratized in that you can use it in this form where you talk in a dialog box, right? Or if you have access to software developers and those with software skills like myself, you can actually bring this into a actual software application or website, platform, you name it, right? I've seen the videos on that. It's a done deal. You can use Ollama to integrate with DeepSeek, and you can merge that into a software. And in fact, this will give software developers across the board access to what's called agentic AI. This is going to accelerate that more than anything else that's out there. So this DeepSeek, to the extent that it is legitimate, in terms of there are no hidden strings attached, and there's no hidden gotchas, and there is no limitations right now, then this is actually going to be much more of an accelerant in the use of AI in terms of how it's integrated into existing software applications. Let's see. So versus Claude versus Anthropic, right? Claude has a strong emphasis on ethical AI, including transparency and fairness. Claude is known for its conversational capabilities, making it suitable for customer service and interactive applications. And also for Google and Claude versus OpenAI, both Google and Claude have a larger context window and has more parameters, right? I've been watching NVidia keynotes for the last several months, right, from Hensing Wang, the chairman of NVIDIA, and he is very articulate about the parameters in a transformer model. And so Claude and Google Gemini, they both handle that better than OpenAI is able to do based on their more limited resources. So weaknesses. Claude may have too much restrictions in terms of its interpretation of ethics, right? So it just depends on what those are. Depending on how Claude approaches ethics, you might agree with it or you might not, right? Claude may not have the same level of market. Well, they don't. So DeepSeek's advantage in this case is going to be a broader range of applications, right? One-stop AI solution. So again, I'm interested in all of this because it's free, because it's the same equivalent capability of something that costs $200 a month. And so that's what drew my attention to this, right? That's all I'm looking at. And the fact that it's open source, right? Because I'm a huge proponent of open source. And so cost effectiveness. DeepSeek could offer a more affordable alternative, and it's just being nice here, right? DeepSeek does offer a more affordable alternative to OpenAI, right? So anyway, and there's an app, so I'm gonna have to check that out and see what that's about. Okay, so here's the thing. Whenever you use these language models, unless you're able to customize them like I've been able to, so that's going to be a weakness that I see here at the outset, is that I don't see any customization capabilities. Let me see. No, I'm not going to click on that yet, but I don't see any obvious customization abilities. Let me see. Let me just ask. Let's see. What ways can one customize chat.deepseek? Because OpenAI offers custom instructions. Also, so you know, apparently because of the level of AI, so DeepSeek is supposed to be equivalent to OpenAI's O1 model. And basically, you don't need as long of a prompt or as in-depth of a prompt as you would when using ChatGPT 4o or 4o mini, right? And so you can use shorter prompts. I use short prompts anyway, unless I see the need to build them. But I'm also used to longer prompts. So let's see what happens here. Let's see. Now, keep in mind that a lot of what it's saying, because I could speed read a lot of this stuff. A lot of what it's saying, it actually refers more to if you're integrating DeepSeek in a software application, right? I'm more interested in this view right here, this experience here. Let's see. Okay, so I also like the speed. If this is indeed chain of thought reasoning compared to OpenAI's O1, this is faster because I've used the O1 model. I like the O1 model. I like what it represents, but this is considerably faster. So let's see. Alright, so I'm already logged in. Navigate to settings. Look for a settings or customization option. Well, we'll look into that later, but if this is true, then yes, you can go through here and set up some custom instructions. Alright, we'll see. Okay, anyway, so that's pretty good. Alright, so I'm just going to keep this short and just let you know that this is available, and the whole AI thing is moving along rather fast. As I said in my previous video, I'm going to stick to writing my software code by hand manually, but outside of that, there are some very good uses for AI, right? And let me explain that statement I just made. There are aspects to certain activities, such as art, such as graphics design, such as photography, software development, and a variety of tasks where if you have the education, you have the experience, and you have a well-rounded life experience and understanding of different contexts, that you are still going to produce a result, and in a shorter amount of time, that is qualitatively better or higher quality than what the AI is going to do. Keep in mind the AI is still primarily, well, not primarily, it's completely a computerized realization. It's the ideal realization of someone, let's say, that studied up to a PhD level. They know the textbooks very well. They have perfect grammar. They know how to use language perfectly, but all they really know how to do at the end of the day is understand what they read, restate or regurgitate what they read. So imagine someone that's really what they call smart. They're what's called book smart. You heard the term or the phrase, that person is just book smart. That's what AI is. It is just book smart. And yes, you can do AI generated art. You can do AI generated video. I have done some of that. But what I have noticed is that as impressive as it appears at a very first glance, as someone that has delved into the arts from the time they were 5 years old and knows what a paintbrush looks like at a very fine level, knows what a pen looks like at a very fine level, because there's art techniques such as pointillism, cross-hatching. Yes, I did go to art school. I know all the design theories, all that kind of stuff. There are things that a human hand will do when we talk about still art, art that doesn't move, it's just a picture, that AI still does not do to this day. And in terms of the video, yes, you can do AI video. And it's nice, those 5-minute clips, those 20-second clips, those 1-minute clips. But it's so limited. Now, once they get to the point where they can do an hour or 2 hours and do that effortlessly, then you're going to have something pretty nice, right? But in terms of what is available to the general public, it's not there yet. A human being still does art, still does video, still does design, and still does all the other activities where you have to integrate all aspects of the brain and all aspects of experience better than the PhD modeled AI, right? The AI that is the computer representation of a PhD that has studied textbooks, and it can answer any question that you ask it, but it can't actually do anything to the level of a talented human that's well-rounded. So anyway, I've incorporated a little rant in there, but I still think this DeepSeek is awesome from what I can see, and for a variety of tasks, dealing with documentation, dealing with information composition, and just doing analysis in a very structured, empiricist kind of way. This looks like it's going to be a pretty useful tool. Anyway, this was an impromptu video, so there's no real point around all of this. I just thought DeepSeek was pretty interesting. I wanted to explore it, and while I was exploring it, I thought I would share this with you. So anyway, that's it, and I'll catch you later.